So, good afternoon, and welcome to Uplift with Vision. I'm Reverend Jeanne, and it's my delight to host the Uplift today from my home. I'm so glad you've joined us. You know, this time together is really a time to connect as community, as to join together, as well as to connect with our inner self, right? So there's a little bit of message and there's a little bit of prayer, and you know what? Let's just start right in prayer, shall we? I just invite you to take a deep breath in and join me in this breath in this time. This is the breath of the divine right here, right now. Breathing me, breathing us. Breathing its life, for it is the very life of spirit right here, right now. Guiding, directing, protecting. It is all there is. And so we rest in it. For this is that place of sweet silence, of sweet ease, of sweet grace. I know that we are held and hold that life of God right here and now. And it all is well, and all is good. And I know that this time together is a special time. And I am just so grateful for it. I know that God moves through us and with us and for us in this time, and that there is nothing lacking. And we rest in the abiding presence of the divine. And so I call it good. I know that it is, and so it is. Amen. So I've been thinking a lot these days about equanimity. Equanimity, you know, it's an interesting word. It's based as the quality of God that we call balance. You know, balance, poise, and stability, and strength. So I've been thinking we need a little bit more of that. Maybe it's just me, but I have a feeling I'm not alone in that. So that's why I thought maybe we'd consider equanimity today. You know, this is a very difficult time. There's a lot of uncertainty, a lot of questions and worries, and all of those naturally arise, right? I mean, even the simplest thing like going outside, is it safe? Going to the grocery store, is it safe? And then there's the fear. Am I going to get sick? Is my loved one going to be the next one? And then there's just the unknowing, right? Like, what's going to happen next? When is the new normal going to come? What will it look like? So it's easy to go from one extreme to the other and to spin round and round. So I just invite us to look at what equanimity would look like and feel like in our lives. Join me. Yeah. My favorite definition of equanimity is equanimity means whatever happens in me, inside or out, I am fundamentally centered in a place that is not affected. I am fundamentally centered in a place that is not affected. Yeah, and what better time than now to develop that kind of centeredness? You know, no matter the changing landscape that we're in. This really is a time to grow our inner depth so that we can be rooted in the stillness of our very core, of our divine self, right? the image of a tree comes to mind. You know, that's what I think of. We have a willow out front that I love watching. I love watching the branches just sway so beautifully in the breeze, and so gracefully, and whip so violently when there's a storm out and high winds. And yet it moves with the wind. Right? It doesn't fight it, because it knows that it's grounded, it's centered, it's got a strong trunk. But you know, the strength of that trunk is not dependent on the branches, it's dependent on the things that we can't even see, on the roots that are underneath it, that are holding it in place. Yeah. This is massive network of roots that are even broader than the tree itself. But that's what holds it. That's what holds it in place. So I just think that's a great metaphor for the way that our spiritual depth gives us that same kind of equanimity, the ability to be unmoved and to not get knocked off center. Ernest Holmes describes inner equanimity this way. He says, as my thoughts sink deep into the quiethood of my innermost self, I am conscious of the perfect peace and love and strength of the one universal being, the one divine mind. It's like a tranquil pool, translucent, calm, and beautiful. And as I contemplate it, I am refreshed. Oh, I love that. And it's so poetic, right? But the imagery, that peaceful place within us where we can abide. Right? Reminds me of the green pastures and still waters that are in Psalm 23 that I recite to my hospice patients, right? That kind of groundedness and beauty that's around us. So what if we began each day grounding ourselves in that tranquil, refreshing pool of quiethood that Ernest Holmes talks about, right? Conscious of the perfect peace and love and strength of the one universal mind. What if we began our day with the intention to live our lives centered in the profound stillness of what is always here at our core? And what would it be like to deepen this center so that we aren't so reactive to the changing landscape around us or the ups and downs of our emotions? Ernest Holmes says, there is a pattern of perfection at the center of everything. I love that. It's a little mantra that I use. There's a pattern of perfection at the center of everything. He compares it to a spiritual prototype, an inherent pattern that makes up the universe, makes up the world, makes up us, right? Our bodies, our very lives. There is only one power, and that power is always operating perfectly around us and in us and through us. We may know that intellectually. It's pretty hard to feel it all the time, though, isn't it? Especially now. And a lot of times it's all about perception, right? Kind of the glasses that we're wearing. Am I wearing the glasses of lack and limitation? The lens that I'm looking through then sees a lot of not enoughness. If I'm looking through the lens of victimhood, right? That's going to make me feel as a victim in everything that I do. What if, on the other hand, I view my life unfiltered, just really, really seeing the truth around me, the truth of this perfection. Seeing how spirit is always seeking a greater expression of itself, a greater expression of me through my life. Those are the glasses we want to wear. Yeah. You know, there are emerging patterns that are seeking to come through us now and at all times. But we can only let that happen when we let go of old ideas, old beliefs, old ways of being that just no longer serve us. Only then can the new emerge and evolve. Right? And it's all about staying conscious, staying awake. So we could say, you know, I don't understand why this is happening, but I know that a greater design is unfolding. Right? How would that feel? Knowing that a greater design is unfolding right now, whether we know what that means or not. That's what allows us to walk through our lives with this equanimity and grace. Eckhart Tolle says, some changes look negative on the surface, but you will soon realize that space is being created in your life for something new to emerge. They may look negative on the surface, but the truth is something greater is coming. There is a space being created. Because, you know, the truth is there's nothing accidental in our lives. There is no accident. We're here for a purpose. We're here right now at this time because we are meant to be here at this time. All of our life has conspired to bring us here. We have everything we need. We have everything we need to be that we need to be at this time. Right? This is a time to discover, to embrace the undiscovered qualities that we are, the qualities of God that we are. It reminds me of one of my favorite poems from Rumi. It's called The Guesthouse. He says, this being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. Even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture, still treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. I love that. Opening our door and finding the guide, even in so many different faces. Yeah. And I think in some ways, you know, the world is being swept clean of all that furniture of old beliefs and ways of being that just no longer fit. It's happening globally and certainly individually. That is the work that we are being called to recognize right now, to open, to ready ourselves for the new delight, which I hold is coming. I mean, imagine a world where even 10% of us could hold the kind of equanimity and balance that we've been talking about here, even for 10% of our lives, just if we can have that in our day, if we can be connected to that, just think what a source of strength and steadiness we would be for other people. Yeah. And the truth is, equanimity and balance is our very essence. It's already there. We are it. In fact, I invite you to repeat after me. I know I can't hear you, but I can feel you. Say, balance is my very essence. I am equanimity and harmony. It is the quality of God that exists fully in me, as me, right now. It's a great affirmation to start your day with. So I invite you to move through the days ahead with, I guess, this truth in mind, allowing it to sustain and ground you through this time of uncertainty, and just being the balance that you are. I'd like to end with a prayer by Ernest Holmes in his book, Thoughts Are Things. And it's about the perfection of life. And it goes like this. Knowing that God is all there is, today I affirm the perfection of the divine pattern at the center of my being. Realizing its reality, I permit its essence to flow through me, claiming it as my own. Believing in its wholeness, perfection, and right action, I know that everything in my experience conforms to its nature. Accepting its peace, I am calm. Expressing its love, I am unified with life. Believing in its power with a childlike faith, I accept the authority of its action in my everyday affairs. Today, I declare the presence and activity of spirit in that which I am, in my relationships with others, and in my contacts with the world about me. And so it is. So it is. So thank you again for joining me, and do tune in tomorrow for another Uplift. It's been lovely. Thank you. Have a great day. Namaste.